What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, this is TWA Motorsports, and welcome to a windy day in Missouri, but it is nice at least. It's not hot, it's not cold, it's just right for working outside, and we are going to be working on the Tahoe today. So if you guys haven't caught the video where I showed you this new project, here it is. It's a two-door, two-wheel drive, 99 Tahoe, and I've always wanted one of these things. I love the look of them. To be quite honest, the body's in great shape other than the side over here, which if you didn't see that in the video where I bought it, that's going to be fixed. I think we're going to paint the entire thing, but it's not running. So I literally bought this thing. I get down there, the starter's messed up. The guy replaced the starter on it. It still wouldn't start. I was about to leave, about to give up, and it fired right up. And it drove great, ran great. And I get it on the trailer, get it all the way home. The next morning, go to unload it, won't start again. And I haven't been able to get it to start since. So I'm not really sure what's going on. I've been talking to my uncle, who has been a great help in things to test. I have tested the fuel pressure. It does have good fuel pressure. I've tested the spark. It seems like it's getting spark. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that maybe the coil's not bad or the distributor's not messed up. So we're going to be replacing those things today. We're basically going to do an entire tune-up. So I got air filter, fuel filter, new plugs, new wires, new cap and rotor. So we're going to start there and see if that doesn't fix our issue. If it doesn't, then we're going to have to go a little deeper. I'm hoping that those things, I'm hoping it's distributor or spark related. I'm hoping that it didn't jump time. He told me that sometimes these things, when you shut them off, they jump timing. So if that's the case, we're going to have to tear the front of the motor apart and put a timing chain in it, and I really don't want to do that, guys. At that point, it's like maybe I should just LS it, even though I have too many other projects going on to do something like that right now. Anyway, let's get started. I think what we're going to do is we're going to get the intake out of place first and probably start there. I don't have a distributor cap yet. It should be here today, but I am going to go ahead and get spark plugs out. Maybe we can go ahead and knock the fuel filter out as well. But let's get started. I'll set you guys up on a tripod and see what we can get torn down here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook the battery. It's kind of low. I've got my charger on it here. Unhook it, and then let's get this air box out of the way. Give us some more room to operate. Set this aside. So now I think we'll go ahead, since I'm waiting on the distributor still, we'll go ahead and take the plugs out and we'll just replace them. I'll leave the wires hanging. I'm waiting on the wires as well. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get the plug wires out, or the plugs out. So I got the first plug loose. Let's see what it looks like. I'm hoping it's all fouled up and nasty. Yeah, it's pretty gross. It smells like fuel really bad. So maybe my ignition is the problem. Let's hope. All right, I won't bore you guys with all of them. I'm swapping these out for some, what are these? These are Bosch, and I'm swapping them out for some NGK. Now I know that these don't last as long, but they seem to run really smooth, and that's why I use them. Some TR55s. I'll list all this stuff in the description down below, but these should come pre-gapped. If not, I'm going to gap them at 60 thousandths. That's what they call for, and we'll get all these put back in, and then hopefully by that time we'll have a distributor and wires, or a distributor cap and wires. If not, I'm going to go ahead and take it off anyway. So I've got all new plugs in, and they all looked about the same as the one that I took out first, which is pretty grody. So now I was gonna go ahead and take the distributor cap off, and normally they're a Torx bit, but for some reason somebody has a Phillips in there, so maybe that's been taken off before because it's been a problem. So we're gonna see. I can't see the back one, so I'm hoping it's the same. If not, generally, like I said, it's either a T15 or a T20. We'll get this old one out of the way, spin it over, and take a look at it. So take a look at these sheetrock screws that they use to put this on. That's not how you do it. take this thing off and take a look at it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, did you see all, look at all the, look at that. That could be our problem. That's really bad. Look at the corrosion in there. That is really, really bad. Chances are that's probably our issue. So I'm gonna wait for the male to bring the other one. Now we still have to take the rotor bug off, and maybe, I'm not sure, it should be a T15 or a T20. It's a T15. So we'll go ahead and take it off as well, because it looks just as bad, and get it out of the way, and then wait for it. While we're waiting on the new one to come in, we'll probably go ahead, get under the car and do the fuel filter. So I decided to go ahead and replace the fuel filter. Now guys, there's no good way to do this without getting fuel on you or something else. But 19, or it's actually 20 millimeter is a stationary nut, and then 15 is the one that loosens the actual line that goes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this old one out, slide it out, and then I've got a replacement to put in. This one does look like it's been changed before, so it's not the factory one, but shouldn't take me long to get the old one out. But the downside is I am gonna smell like gas. Now that we have the fuel filter on, the UPS man, or actually the post office man, has showed up and delivered the new cap and rotor. And so take a look at the difference. Look how burned up this one is in comparison to this one. So definitely needed to be changed. And then when I get to the cap, I'll show you guys that. Now the downside is, since somebody used a drywall screw to put the cap on, chances are my holes are screwed up, so I may end up having to use those to put it back in, even though I don't want to do that. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put this back together. It's like a T15, I believe. I think that's what I've got on here, is a T15. Yeah, T15. And we'll put the cap, or the rotor on, and then we'll go get the cap, and hopefully we can get those bolts that come with it, or the screws that come with it, to thread in. If not, I may have to reuse those until I can find another method, which would probably mean putting a new distributor in it. I don't think you can buy just the outer piece. Maybe you can. Anyway, we'll get that in place, and then we'll start with the plug wires, because I also got those. So now we have the rotor on. We are going to put the cap on. Look at the difference. So that's the new one, that's the old one. Look at all that corrosion in there. So I'm hoping, guys, that that's our issue, because it looks pretty rough. So anyway, this goes on the exact same way you took the old one off, and it's labeled, so it's pretty dummy proof as far as putting your plug wires back on. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this thing in place, and then we'll start routing the new plug wires in. So I got a little lucky, and those new screws that come with it, they look similar to this. They are T20s, and they actually did thread in there. So luckily I didn't have to reuse the drywall screws. But now I'm going to go grab the plug wires, and basically, guys, what I like to do is, so we get the correct length, I'll pull one off, find the replacement in the group, and just basically replace it with that one in the group, because they come in several different lengths, and you don't want to get to the end and one be too long or one be too short. So take one off, replace it, and then keep going through the series until you're finished up. That's the way I like to do it. Now some people like to pull them all off and just guess, or try to figure out what length they need. That's just not the way I like to do it. So I'm gonna go grab those, and we'll get them into place. So I did buy replacement GM coils, so they're AC Delco coils, and or plug wires, sorry. And I don't know, I'm just a big fan of them. They seem to last, and I think you can get some junk out there. So I will be replacing it with stock pieces. And what I meant by this, so I've got the first one off, And so I'm going to go through here and see if I can find one that's the same length as the one that I took off, or as close to it as possible. We now have all of the plug wires back in place, and like I said, they are numbered if you screw them up. I did go ahead and use the factory holders and put them all back in the same position that they were in. Now they have been changed, so chances are they weren't in the right spot, but it looked pretty close. So I just routed them the best that they could possibly route. So now, guys, the only thing we have left to do is to put our intake back on. I did buy a new air filter. I'm gonna go grab a vacuum and clean up this nastiness inside here. And you're probably wondering why there's a set of pliers stuck here. I'm actually letting any gas that has just been sitting in the intake evaporate out, because this thing did smell really flooded. So I think it was probably an ignition issue. So if this doesn't work, we may move on to a coil. It's hard to say. I'm just hoping this is going to work. So I'm going to go grab my vacuum. I'm going to vacuum all that out, and then we'll get the new filter in, and then we're going to test it. So we got this whole huge assembly right here, and this is the old filter. And it doesn't look terrible. I've seen way worse. This is the new one. I did buy a Wix filter. That looks like an old Fram maybe. Just pushes on, and then we just set it back into place here. I'm gonna have to move my pliers. And then make sure you don't forget to plug in like your mass airflow sensor and your IAT sensor. Top of the valve cover there, and we should be pretty close. Let me find the top of the intake here. Everything's plugged in back where it needs to be. Other than that, then we need to put our little thumb screw back in. And guys, I'm gonna hook up the battery. You know, I unhooked it to charge it. We're gonna hook it up and see if this thing starts. I'm gonna go grab the wrench to hook it up. That's not the right one. All right, got the right wrench now. Let's hook this thing up, and I'm gonna give you guys a real time, is it gonna work? Got my key right here, and let's hope it does, because I sure don't like troubleshooting. Let's go try it. It worked. That was it. So guys, we are all finished up, and I'm telling you, words can't describe how excited I am. I tried to stay on the good looking side, I know. We're gonna go over here to the ugly side, and it's not as bad as what we thought. Let's test it again. Let's see if it starts. Starts right up. Oh my gosh. It needs door pins. That's pretty common on these. Anyway, I'm excited. That is step one. Now I could take it out. I actually am getting ready to take it out to my body shop guy and have him take a look at it. He was wanting to see it up close and personal to see how bad the body actually was. And well, step one, getting it running, right? So I can't get it out to the body shop if it doesn't run. I guess I could haul it out there, but I'd rather drive it. And now that it's running, we could do that. I'm so excited. It's crazy that I have all these other things that don't, well, I say all these other things. The Trans Am hasn't ran in a while, but I'm more excited about this. I don't know why. I guess because I bought it running and I thought it was good, and then I get it home and it doesn't run, so that sucks sometimes. Anyway, guys, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get it to the body shop guy and let him take a look at it, but I'm not gonna be doing any of the body work. I'm not doing any of the paint. I'll do some stuff in the interior, but as far as like reupholstering the seats like they need, I'm gonna leave that to my neighbor who does that, and he is good at it, and we'll let him do it because he's good at it. Same way with the body shop stuff. It's just not my bag, nor do I want to get into it, nor do I have the time, to be quite honest with you. But I also think that I'm going to give you guys a running total of all the stuff I spent on this. Now, you know, I originally said I'd like to spend around $6,000, and chances are we'll probably go over that. But in each video, in the description down here, I'm going to put in basically what I spent in the video that you're watching, and then I'm going to total that up as we go. So like we bought the car for $4,000. We spent I don't know, 150, 160 bucks on this stuff to tune this thing up. So we were in it $4,160 or whatever. So I'm going to keep that running total in the description. So with each video as we build, you guys will know exactly how much we are in it at that point. That way at the end I don't have to go back, and I probably still will go back and make a video of what the total cost involved was. But guys, if you did like this video, if it was informative, like always, please smash that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, guys, I don't know what you're doing. We got a lot of stuff going on, so go down, hit that subscribe button, make sure you ring that bell icon, that way you're notified every single time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned to see what we work on next.